There's a whole new system that's being raised up, says the Spirit. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. People shall say, no, this is more evil. God said, it's my doing. This computer and this whole technology shall reach the entire earth. Every being on the face of the earth shall be reached by this ludicrous, they call it ludicrous speed. And it shall be possible for men and women in India, third world countries, to hear the gospel in seconds. Let's go!
We're ready for your power now.
prophesying over this nation what God intended because of his people. Let's do it. Everybody with me, say America. Yeah. America, America, you are the light of the world. America, America, you are the salt of the earth. And do me a favor, I want you to put your name there. If your name is Teresa, put there, Teresa, you are the light of the world. If your name is Tom, then just say Tommy. If your name is Prosciutto, then say your name. You are the light of the world. Or point to somebody in your house and tell them, come on, America, you are the light of the world. Say your name. Salt. You are the salt of the earth. Say your name. Josephine, you are the light of the world. Josephine, you are the light of the world. Come on. Surely, you are the salt of the earth. There we go.
Hello and welcome to Code Breakers Analysis. We're so glad you joined us today. I am Donné Clement Petruska, and I am joined today by my dear friend, Christie Desfontaine. You'll know her from the Israel Update channel on the House of Destiny Network. Welcome, Christie.
Hello, thank you.
So we left off last time looking at prophecies that we are anticipating for the year of 2025. And so we have some more today to share with you, in particular in regards to the new energy that my dad prophesied about, and advances in technology. And so, you know, we're living in a time where there's so much conflicted opinions on some of these advances. Especially within the Christian communities, because of things that we've been warned about in the Bible. But there are things that are good that are coming with some of these advances as well. And one thing I've found is that we cannot allow ourselves to be so caught up in fear that we can't see the good things that God has for us in this time. Because regardless, what was prophesied and is going to happen no matter what. But what we have found with, for instance, the internet. I remember when the internet first came out and everybody said, well, www is like 666. And the internet is dangerous. And you know what? I think there's an element of that is true. But we've also seen that with the advance in technology in regards to the internet, it has been very advantageous to spreading the gospel. And so today we have some prophecies to share with you. Now, I talk about this often, and I have for years, is what Dad prophesied about a new energy that would be coming. And it's connected in so many ways to so many other things he was prophesying about that there's a lot of prophecy regarding the new energy and advances in technology that are going to be good. One in particular is the not free energy, but new energy. I am hearing about free energy often. And that is related to the Malaysian jet that my dad prophesied about. And we'll cover that another time. But we're finding that there are many things that he saw that are connected to this new energy. And the new energy is connected to the death to debt that my dad prophesied about, and how America will be debt-free. And, there was even a prophecy connected to the BRICS nations, where my dad prophesied about while those cats and dogs are fighting, America will prosper. because of a new energy, and there will be death to debt. And he saw this again and again and again. So today we've pulled a few prophecies to look at regarding both of these topics, energy and technology, which are actually connected. I believe it's even connected to the drones that we're seeing. And things that, we've covered, the prophecy from 2014 where Dad was shouting, you don't know, you're not supposed to know. And that not supposed to know, I believe, is because of classified information that our military and our government wouldn't want our enemies to know about. And so it's connected to the Malaysian jet and to energy. And so, but before we go on with that, I just wanted to give a little introduction of what we're going to be covering today. But before we go on with that, as you can see, Christie is not in studio today. She's at home. And so, we're filming this broadcast on Wednesday, the 8th of January, but it will not be aired until this Saturday. And so, today we're praying for Christie's safety because she is in California in the middle of the fires. Tell us what's going on quickly, Christie.
Wow, it's felt apocalyptic, to be honest. This morning took my daughter to school and had to be pretty careful with the way I was driving, seeing uprooted trees. Everything was just chaotic. And then I just looked up and there was this gigantic cloud of smoke and it was black and the sun was kind of looking a little orange through it. And I was like, what's happening? Because the last I'd heard, there were fires in other areas and I've obviously been checking in with friends and stuff. But then some of my other friends texted me and said, hey, a new one's broken up right by you guys. And so that's the smoke that as I'm recording with you now, I'm sitting in my apartment and I'm looking out and just seeing black clouds of smoke. So my house is in chaos. I am busy packing essentials. I've been packing up ready to go if need be. Thankfully, my daughter's school was outside of the evacuation potential zone. But for right now, if you see me looking down at my phone, please excuse me. I'm literally just checking fire alerts because if we get moved into evacuation zone, I've got to run. So I've been packing this morning, just grabbing essentials, just praying obviously that everything's fine. And I pray that next week when we speak to you, everything will be okay. But I am just trying to be prepared. And obviously, my heart goes out, our hearts go out to every person who's been impacted by this. There are Americans dying, being injured, suffering. There are people that are already going through it that are losing everything. And that's something for us to be aware of. And it kind of feels like, wow, it's only the 8th of January right now. And when you guys are watching this, it's the first, proper weekend in January and things already feel so chaotic. But just to be really grateful for what we have, that we have each other, that we build our lives on Jesus, not on stuff. Because at the end of the day, life is fragile. I've been thinking a lot, and we'll get into these videos now, but I've been thinking a lot about Isaiah 2:22, which says, stop trusting in man who is but a breath in his nostrils, of what account is he? And there's something about the brevity of breath, and it's gone. You stop breathing for a couple minutes, the quickest way to die. You can go days without sleep, days without food, days without water. If you stop breathing, you're done. And the picture Isaiah was painting there was, if you trust in man, all there is a breath in his nostrils. That's all he's got going for him. And so our foundation has to be so firmly built on Christ, our solid rock. And so as I'm sitting here surrounded by apocalyptic smoke and fire, my neighbors have been running in and out. So if you hear clanging, I'm sorry. We've had neighbors coming in and out, borrowing things from us. We're a cute, tight little community here in the apartment that I live in. And we're just lending each other things. And, people are bringing food over and we kept losing power. But it really did make me just take stock for a second and think how grateful I am to God for life. And for everybody out there who's watching, I understand last year was difficult. We're obviously expecting for President Trump to be inaugurated. We're excited about that. But life is still difficult. And so just to take a moment to remember people around us need kindness. They need love. And what we need to do is really take stock of what matters the most to us. Because when you're considering being under a fire evacuation and suddenly wondering about what to grab because you're not sure that you might lose everything, it really puts things into perspective. And so I'm sorry that I look chaotic. My hair is a mess. I barely have any makeup on. I know that I'm not doing well here today from an aesthetic perspective, but it was so frantic trying to just make sure that my daughter was safe and the cats and, just trying to pack stuff up. But anyway, just for everybody out there, God sees us when we're struggling, and he cares about you, and he cares about your family, and he cares about your life, and he cares about every single thing that you're going through. And he gave Kim Clement to us as a gift. Kim's life was a sign, his words were a sign, and what you're about to watch, it's there to give us hope. These different things that he saw, we look at the track record and say this was impossible, but it happened. And what God used this man for, and is still using him for, even though he's graduated, is to pump hope into the hearts of his bride. And so as we go into these now, I just want you to be aware of that. Life is short. Things can change in a moment. But God gave us this man as a gift to really give us hope about his character and his track record. And so that's what I wanted to say for a minute right there.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're so grateful to you for still joining us. I probably wouldn't have. So I am so grateful that you did still come on with us today. And we know that God's going to protect you, Christie. But absolutely everything you just said is it's just completely correct. And, we have no fear, but we also have to be wise. And so we will continue to be praying for you. And the strange thing is over on our end, because we're in Nashville, Tennessee, we've had ice and snowstorms. So we are of the opposite going on. It's fire and ice. This year, and I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the year, all the lightning striking, all the significant monuments in Washington, D.C. You and I were just there. There's a lot going on that we can see. There are shakings happening. And Dad prophesied quite a bit about that too, how God would shake the nations. And some of it was even with earthquakes. But out of those things, he saw new things being discovered. And the energy is one of those things. And so we do have a prophecy to play for you. Let's have a look at this one. And we'll come back and talk about it.
There will be a source that they will have within this nation. It shall come from the garbage. It'll come from the ground. It'll come from paper. It'll come from bugs eating stuff. I'm just seeing a bunch of bugs eating a bunch of stuff. Listen to me. God said this is going to be the craziest thing. They're going to say, wow, this is being wasted. The creatures are eating what could be used to cause our engines to work and our vehicles to move. I'm seeing this bunch of bugs eating the stuff. And they said, there it is. That's it right there. God said, when it happens, the United States shall rise above the wealth of the Middle East in terms of oil, and it shall take over, and they shall say, now take your oil and shove it.
Wow, just in Kim Clement style. But listen.
About this, Donné. What I love about this is that it was so clearly God showing him, because he doesn't have the verbiage. He doesn't have this technical knowledge of being able to say, this is what I saw, and break it down in scientific terms. It's so clear that what he's seeing is something God is showing him.
Absolutely. And so interesting because that's not something you could guess. So, like you said, he didn't have the words to use, but he said the bugs are eating. And I found that to be so interesting. The bugs are eating it. There it is. There it is. And telling the Middle East, you can take your oil and shove it. That is just too funny. And so just my dad, the way he was as a person. But we can see the need for this. We have all of these issues and problems with the climate and energy and Saudi Arabia not signing the Petro deal, whatever it's called, after the 50 years and teaming up with the BRICS nations. And so this is a very interesting prophecy because, again, it's such a strange thing for him to see. Yeah. The bugs are eating it, the paper, you're walking on it. I mean, that's pretty interesting. How will they use the fuel? And so for everybody watching, there's a little clue. So as you're watching the news and you're seeing information coming out in the coming, I don't know how long, months, years, a new energy has been promised.
Yes.
And, this isn't the only time that he prophesied about energy. There's many times. We have another prophecy that we found. We do not have video for, but I can read it if you guys want to put the transcript up, because it's also very interesting what he saw in regards to a new energy. So let's put that up and then I'll read it. Okay, so this was November 16th of 2008. And again, we don't have the video clip, but we do have the transcript from the prophecy database. And he said, the Spirit says, do you understand that I'm going to give you and have already begun to give you oil from everywhere, but a new source of energy where there will be no reliance on the Middle East. There will be no reliance upon your enemies. Why should you take from your enemies, says the Spirit of God? Why should you take from your enemies? Why has the United Nations betrayed the people that I love? God said, I will bring them to nothing. I will bring them down because God said, I'm raising up a brand new statute. I'm raising up a brand new power. I'm raising up a brand new voice. And this nation will have what they have prayed for because I am ready, says the Spirit of the Lord. Rejoice. Oh, my goodness. So, he's bringing up the UN again, and he does this again and again. And Christie, what have we seen about the UN just since October 7th?
Donné, this is something I wanted to actually jump in and say for a second. At the time that he was going on about this, they had not done the things that they've done now. So
right.
I remember thinking, a little bit hectic to say about, the UN. But in the same way that I thought, really, the rise of the Fourth Reich? The same way that I thought cell phones, Israel taking down enemies with cell phones, the same way I thought Trump will be a trumpet, okay? The same way I thought all these different things, we've watched God do what he said he will do, even though some of it seems a little cryptic. And so for everybody watching out there, this is the start of a new year full of hope and promise, even though there are difficulties to it. And what I want to encourage you with is this. When you sow into this house, you're sowing into the future. And it's something that Kim used to speak about all the time. It was so obvious and evident that God showed this man the future. And I know that right now, death to death seems insane. But do you know what? A lot of the other things he said seemed insane too. And impossible things have happened. What has happened with Trump is an impossible miracle that occurred. Varying things that have taken place, it's been impossibilities that we've seen that God showed this man. And so right now we might look at the economy and think death to death, insane. But for everybody out there, when we hold on to the promise of God, when we stand firm on the words that he spoke through his servant, the promise is ours and that promise is yours. So I'm encouraging you today, start the new year off by bringing an offering to God. You can click the red link below your player. You can scan the QR code. You can text your gift. There's so many options that you've got. And it doesn't have to be something that just, even if you feel like, well, I don't have that much to bring, whatever it is that you're able to bring, God can and will bless. Let's always remember the story in Luke 21 about the widow with the two mites. It wasn't about an amount. It was about her heart condition. And so for some people, $5 is a really big cost. For other people, $500,000 isn't. It really depends on our heart condition and where we're at, and God is the one who sees that. So I'm encouraging you today, sow into your future, sow into the death of debt, whether it's in your life, for the nation, for the nations of the world. We stand firm on these words that were given by his servant, the prophet, because we've seen what God has done in the past, and that history shows and speaks for itself. So go ahead and do that today. I guess it's kind of the second week of January. Set your year up right. Do what you know God is calling you to do, and let us make this a year of spectacular giving, even in the face of difficulty, because we're sowing into something we know is certain. Faith is being sure of what we hope for, certain of what we do not see. And so these other words, more prophecies that we're going to play for you as we continue doing what we're doing, the more that we do this, the more we're going to see what God is doing and see how his word is being unfolded and revealed and fulfilled. Sow into your future, sow into your family's future, sow into this nation's future. That's my encouragement to you today.
And if anybody is giving an offering today, I want you to have this. If you don't already have it, because I know a lot of you do, like Christie said, it doesn't matter the amount. If you give 50 cents, if you give $1, that's all you have. We want you to have this. This is called Daily Light, and it's a 31-day devotional that we put together of my dad's writings. He actually wrote them. The Daily Lights were an email he used to send out, and they were so amazing and so awesome that we put them together in a 31-day devotional. And if you give an offering today, we want to send this to you. Just make sure that you click the banner and indicate to us that you want this. So there's a banner on the website, and you can go via that route. There is a QR code as well for those of you who are okay using them. Not everybody is. And we want to send you this. And it's, again, an offering for any amount. And the other thing that we have is for $25 or more on our new release. What was last year's new release, but it's still the newest one we have, is Prophetic Revelations, a collection of letters from the pen of Kim Clement. I love this. And let me tell you something, as anointed as he was in worship and prophecy, so was he when he would write. We used to get him journals every Father's Day, birthday, Christmas. He was always getting journals and devotionals from us because he loved them so much. And so that's a part of what we have here to send to you when you give your offering today. And we thank you so much for your continued support of what we are doing here at the House of Destiny Network. And sharing these prophecies is a big part of it. So as Christie said, we've got some more stuff to show you here. And so the next thing we wanted to look at today is what he prophesied about technology, because the energy and the technology sort of go hand in hand. And so it's very important to have a look at both aspects. And we actually have some prophecy to share with you about that. And so we have a prophecy clip that we're going to play for you right now. And we'll come back after we watched it.
There's a whole new system that's being raised up, says the Spirit. A whole brand new computer that has a speed greater than lightning. People shall say, no, this is more evil. God said, it's my doing. This computer and this whole technology shall reach the entire earth. Every being on the face of the earth shall be reached by this ludicrous, they call it ludicrous speed. And it shall be possible for men and women in India, third world countries, to hear the gospel in seconds. Out of New York and Seattle, Washington, this shall happen. I say this to you because I'm going to give you and have given you young men and women that are so sharp. You will be one of the first to have this technology. You shall use it and change this into a multi-billion concern. Why? So that God said you will be able to fund. You will be able to give out. And as in the days of Moses, you will say to the people, stop giving. We have too much.
Wow, that is incredible.
Wow.
I believe he's seeing quantum computings. That's what I think. You know, the quantum computer is something, and that's something he didn't even know existed when he prophesied that in 2008. But as we sit here in 2025, I'm hearing more and more about the quantum computer. I mean, some of these guys working on this stuff are actually, it's driving them crazy. Because, and not because of the speed, which is something Dad probably said, the ludicrous speed. What's making them, what's making them go a little bit crazy is that what they're learning as they are developing this technology is that the reality and existence is not what they thought. And I cannot explain to you why. I've just heard people saying this. In my brain, I don't know how it all works, and I have never seen or used a quantum computer, but I know that it's starting to make waves. And I know that there's also a lot of fear about this. And so I love how how when my dad was prophesying, God said to us through him, people are going to be afraid of it and they're going to say it's evil, but this is my doing. And so we have to remember that as, because if you look historically, anytime there was any kind of advancement in technology or knowledge or anything, the initial thing that people do, especially in the church, is get afraid. And we cannot allow ourselves to be afraid in this time. Like I said, don't be fearful, be wise, and have discernment. So that whenever there's something new, like this kind of a thing, you're going to find that there's going to be the potential for evil and for good always. And so we as a prophetic people, being that we've been given this little glimpse into the future, it helps us then to understand God is in control here. And although there's the potential for bad to happen, there's so much potential for good. And that's what my dad was seeing. And so I feel very, yes.
He also, if you remember, your dad prophesied about a cure for cancer, and he said that supercomputing might be the answer.
Yes. And he prophesied all those cures for cancer, for autism, Alzheimer's, neurological disorders. And so as we see very, very quickly, a lot of stuff is beginning to emerge. Historically, any new ideas or technology have taken much longer, but because of the day and age that we're in, everything's happening faster. And so we kind of get hit with new things all the time, and we're just used to, what is Bitcoin? The next thing you know, there's something else. And so Bitcoin's just a good example. And so, things are happening at at an increased rate with these advances. And so now things that would have taken decades are taking a few years, and we're seeing it happen quicker and quicker. And so I just want to encourage everybody watching today that I know that you see these things and you hear these things and you feel afraid, but think of the internet, like I said earlier, the WW being the 666. It may be the doorway to that. But in the meantime, we can either go the way of the Amish and just do, hide away, and then what use will we be and what good would we be in spreading the gospel. So we have to be brave in this time. And this is why God gives us prophecy, because it's little lights along the path that give us, just like with the Trump prophecies, there were so many uncertainties during all those years of all the things that happened with Trump. But what we did know is that God promised us that he would be a trumpet, that he would build the walls of protection, that God was going to use him greatly, even with his flaws. And he has, and he is. And so we have to approach things in that same way, is that we know the potential for evil is there, but we also know how much good God can do through anything, because this is his creation. And so I'm feeling very encouraged by that. I think we might have lost Christie. And so I'm praying that she's all right, because we have lost her there on the screen. So
yeah, her power went out.
And so, yeah, we'll just, it looks like her power has gone out. So I think Christie needs to get her cat and her things and get in her car and leave. And that's what we would rather her be doing right now. But we are grateful to Christie for joining us today, regardless of the apocalyptic situation she's in over there in Southern California in the middle of those fires. And we do continue to pray. If you're watching today and you've endured anything in regard, if you've lost anything, if you've lost your home, we are praying for you here at the House of Destiny. We encourage you. You can write in and to hope@houseofdestiny.org. And you can also call our number. And Pastor Faw especially will be ready to pray with you. He's also there in Southern California with you guys. And so we used to live there. I used to live there, my mother and I. We no longer live there, but we remember, even in 2018, my mother's house was almost burned down. So we do know how scary those fires can be. And we continue to pray for everybody over there. And, God promised a lot of things about California through my dad. He actually, on February 22nd, 2014, where he saw so much about Trump and the impeachments and the overturning of Roe versus Wade and how God would use President Trump and the president who will be the guy who will be president after him. There's a lot in that prophecy, and in that prophecy, he prophesied directly to California. And he said, watch for the sign of rain. And so we'll continue to pray about that and that prophetic word as well. And everybody in California, we know you guys have been through so much already politically and all the things that are happening with the laws there and things. So these fires are just awful. But we continue to pray for all of you and that God will bless you with more than you lost in these fires. But we do have one more prophecy, and I'll read it to you before we go today. In regards to technology again. And I think these are important to hear right now because it's going to give us a lot of hope. And so what we have is from December 31st of 2004. That was New Year's Eve 20 years ago, okay? So now you know my dad's got the 10-year track record. He also has a 20-year one on some of these things. And this is what he said. Get ready, for there shall be a creation of a computer that shall supersede everything that has been invented up to this point. It shall be so rapid, and there shall be no more viruses that shall come and be able to touch your systems. Do not be afraid of the 666. Do not be afraid of the beast. Do not be afraid of those that would teach that their power is going to destroy you. The greatest years are about to come upon you, and the Holy Spirit has withheld certain blessings, but now they shall begin in just a few minutes. They have already begun in the Spirit, where the blessing of the Lord shall begin and overtake your lives. So, wow, just as I've been telling you all through this broadcast, you see how he said there in that prophecy in 2004, don't be afraid of the 666 and don't be afraid of the beast. And that's the thing that we need to understand, is that we recognize the times in which we live, but we cannot allow ourselves to be afraid because it was prophesied. So no matter what we do, it's coming. No matter what we do, this is what's going to happen. But we know that in the meantime, we are occupying, we are spreading the gospel, and we're going to grab as many souls as we can along this journey. And you notice again how he talks about this computer. And of course, in 2004, nobody knew what a quantum computer was. I only a few years ago discovered that was even a thing. And so it's very encouraging for me to see that prophecy and be able to share that with you today, because there he actually said it's a computer, and you won't be able to have to deal with the viruses in your system. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And that is the message today that I have for all of you. And if you notice, I had to read a couple of prophecies today because we can't find the video footage of those prophecies. And that is why we need you to join our partner program. Because if you are partnering with us in the Prophecy Vault partner program, this is why we are doing this partnership, so that we can continue to find and get digitized the video footage of these prophecies so we can share them with you. And so 2 of the prophecies today that I read to you, we need digitized, and we need your help with that. And that's what the Prophecy Vault is about. And let me tell you, it is awesome. For only $7 a month or more, you can join our Prophecy Vault. We have an upgraded prophecy database. Now, we have the prophecy database on our website that has always been there and will remain. But in our partner program, we've been able, because of you joining and partnering with us, have been able to really improve the prophecy database experience. And part of that is now you not only can read a transcript, but you can watch video of the prophecy, and you can also click a link to go and watch the original. And so this is, and I mean, not to mention all the teachings, and there's so much in that vault that we have for you. And so I encourage you to join our Prophecy Vault and partner with us because it is worth it. And you are helping me to build the legacy of my dad and get these things, find these videos, and maybe it's just audio on a cassette tape, but we know they're out there. And you partnering with us helps us gather this together so we can keep adding videos to the prophecy database in the Prophecy Vault. And so I thank you so much for partnering with us, those that have. It is very exciting, especially now that we've been able to launch the partner program and share these things with you. And I mean, if you read the testimonials and the comments, you'll see how many people who have joined are really loving it and saying how worth it is. And so I encourage you again to partner with us. And I thank you for joining me today. We'll continue to pray for everybody in Southern California that is dealing with this horrible fires And we continue to pray for all of you that are being affected by it. And everybody watching that is not in California, know that we're all praying for you. And we love you dearly. And thank you for joining us today for Code Breakers Analysis. We will be back next week with more.
Can I obtain a gift, or must I be born with one?
What is the best gift? Well, it's the gift. I think it's a good explanation that God is giving you at that time, in that moment. If he wants to use a tongue, if he wants to use manifest a healing or a prophetic word, it's on the heart of God to manifest that. So covet that gift.
For people that might feel like God's passed them by, where it doesn't feel like there's a very clear skill set, if God can empower a donkey to speak his will, you can ask him for something and he'll give it to you.
In Romans 11:29, it says, "For the gifts and callings of God are irrevocable." Another translation says that he gives it without repentance. So the thing is that that's between them and Jesus. And at the end of the day, if God used a donkey, if God used David, if God used all of these imperfect beings, then God can still use the person that you know what they did last weekend for his glory.
Watch now at real-faith.tv.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
We here at the House of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.